Which one is better to practice Cisco? A physical lab or a virtual lab? Let's find out. Welcome to iRush Academy, CCNA 20301. Implementing and Administering Cisco Solutions, Chapter number 2, Build a Cisco Lab Environment. Building a lab for Cisco training. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the importance of lab for Cisco training. Then we will discuss about the physical lab or virtual lab, which one is better for Cisco training. Then we will talk about the benefits of physical lab, and finally we will talk about the benefit of virtual lab. Now let's discuss about the importance of lab for Cisco training. Why do we need a lab for Cisco training? If you want to learn Cisco technologies, if you want to get skilled in Cisco technologies, if you want to experience the Cisco technologies, you need to do one thing. It is just practice, practice, practice. Practice is very important to learn Cisco technologies, whether it is CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, any kind of Cisco certifications. Not only in Cisco, getting practice is very important to learn any IT technologies, which includes Cisco, Microsoft, Linux, VMware, etc. Learning a technology in IT includes two parts. One is the theory and second one is the practical. The theory part can be learned using any online tutorial, referring some books, etc. The practical knowledge can be gained only by doing the practice in a lab environment. This is why setting up a lab is very important for Cisco training. Physical lab or virtual lab? Which one is better for you and what are the differences between them? Let's discuss. Physical lab using real hardware, cables and modules. For example, if you want to set up a physical lab, you need to get the original hardware, original cables and original modules, and you need to use the real Cisco hardware devices to set up the lab. On the other hand, virtual labs are software-based lab. You don't need to get the original Cisco hardware, but instead you can emulate the Cisco hardware in any desktop or laptop. It is a simulator tool or an emulator tool that we can use in any desktop or laptop. Now let's discuss about the physical labs. Physical labs using the real hardware modules and cables. That means if you want to set up a physical lab, we need to get the original hardware, Cisco hardware such as Cisco switches, Cisco routers, wireless LAN controller, the original cables and modules to set up a lab. Another benefit of physical lab is the physical lab provides the real world experience. That means as an end user or student, you are able to get the real world experience of the Cisco hardware, such as plugging a cable, removing a cable, install a module, remove a module, etc. And moreover, it provides the full features of hardware and software. Since you are using the original Cisco hardware, it provides all the features that a physical hardware should have. And there are some other points need to be considered when you are setting up a physical lab. One of the point is the space requirement. If you want to set up the physical lab, you need to have the proper space to install all the physical hardware. For example, you need to install a small rack to mount all of the physical hardware. You need to find a space to occupy all of the physical hardware. That is one of the requirements. Another point need to be considered for the physical lab is its high implementation cost. Here you are going to purchase the real hardware, so you need to bear the cost of the physical hardware. Another point to be considered is the power consumption for hardware. You're going to switch on all the hardware and keep them on for many hours to do your practice. So that means all of these hardwares are using your power, electricity. So that means you need to consider the power consumption for the hardware. Now let's discuss about the virtual lab. Virtual lab means a virtualized lab. That means there is no physical hardware available, and instead we are virtualizing that hardware into a software. There are many applications available in the market to virtualize the real behavior of the Cisco switches and routers. Not only Cisco, all other manufacturer we can mimics using the virtualized lab. The virtual lab use emulator tool or simulator tool. What is the difference between an emulator tool or simulator tool? An emulator is used to replicate the hardware and software feature of any device, but a simulator used to replicate only the software behavior of a device. Using the simulator, we cannot replicate the hardware features. So using an emulator tool or simulator tool, the virtual lab environment replicate the behavior of the Cisco devices, and using that behavior we can practice the lab. Now let's discuss about some of the characteristics of the virtual lab. Virtual lab provide the limited features. Of course, we are not using the physical hardware in virtual lab. Instead, we are replicating the characteristic of physical devices. So, not all the features available in physical hardware is not available in the virtual lab. There may be some limited feature available. That is one of the characteristic of virtual lab. Another point is there is no real world experience available in the virtual lab. As you know, we are replicating the software and hardware behavior into a virtualized environment. So there is no real world experiences available, such as unplug a module, plug a module, remove a cable, something like that. That is only available in the physical lab. That's why I always prefer to use the physical lab to learn the new skills. One of the another characteristic of virtual labs are they are very cost effective, because virtual labs are not using the real hardware. So there are very less costs associated with the virtual labs. You need to use a high-end laptop or high-end desktop, and you need to set up a virtual application inside that thing, and it can emulate or simulate any hardware. So you don't want to purchase a new hardware for each and every lab requirement. Instead, every device you can virtualize in your virtual lab. Now in this chapter, we have discussed about the importance of labs for Cisco training. Then we discuss the difference between the physical lab and virtual lab. Then after that, we talk about the benefit of physical lab and the benefit of virtual lab. Thank you for watching and subscribe to the channel.